Hey there, social fam. Maybe I'll say good evening or good morning or buenos dias. I don't know. I do not do good Spanish. Like, let me stop. I don't know where that came from. But I think that's the point of today's message and just coming forward, just in a more, I wouldn't even say real. It's just, here's the thing, I'm recognizing and I'm accepting my multi-dimensionalness. I just made that word up, okay? But I'm multi-dimensional, I'm multifaceted, and I've been sitting in how do I articulate everything that I sense, everything that I feel, everything that I know. And then here's the other thing about how God operates. He doesn't tell you or show you everything. Some things you just got to show up and you got to steward things well. You walk in obedience, and before you know it, I guess you're in the manifestation. And one thing that I'm thinking about right now is right before I relaunch Social Hour with Ash, She Speaks segments and They Speak moments. Um, I had an acquaintance ask me about my platform, and they're like, why aren't you active? Why aren't you speaking? And, at that time of life, I had so much going on to where I didn't really know if I was going or coming. And I remember them saying something in particular along the lines of people need to see you in your journey. And it resonated with me because I really believe like the reality is when we look at other people, and one of my favorite people who I'm going to be pulling quotes from them, I actually got permission from him on today to use his quotes for this segment. Matt Gottesman. If you don't know who Matt Gottesman is, oh my God, follow him on Apple. What is it? Where you get your iPods, where you get your playlist from for what are those things called? Podcasts. Where you get your podcast from, and especially on Instagram. And I'm pretty sure he's on other platforms, but I discovered him through Instagram. And every day, just about every day, I'm listening to a podcast from him. And then he has like these daily quotes that he puts out. And you ever just like read something and it resonates so deeply within? And one of his quotes, I have other quotes from him, but one of the quotes that he says, like, be so obsessed, and I'm butchering it, but be so obsessed with what you're sent here to do. And just in the effort of striving and the effort of just articulating like what it is that you feel in your body of work, the reality is you just got to put it out there. And I probably listened to him for like a year straight prior to me surrendering again and yielding again to God, and wanting to understand how did and how does God want to use me in this earth realm. And those are things that when I say I sit with myself, and I've sat with myself in the depths of me. And I realized, like, as I was stating before with the Mariana Trench, and I'm gonna just tell you, go Google that, get your own definition, get your own spiritual insight from it. But understanding like there's so much depth to me. And I'm realizing the only way that God will continuously pour is that I allow myself to pour out. And what I decided to do is kind of just like today is just like a diary moment that I just felt led to kind of just bleed on paper. And I write a ton. I just recognize I don't release anything. And I'm pushing myself, I'm encouraging myself within the dimensions and the depths of what God shows me, what God speaks to me, and what I'm able to receive. And then not just what I'm able to receive, what I'm able to then articulate. And here's the thing, I don't want to internalize the things that God has entrusted me with. And for the things, here's the side of it, for the things that God gives me the authority to like release, I want to be able to do that freely. And here's the truth, like I have been doing that. And sometimes I sit back and I'm in awe of like, okay, we're doing this. And as much as I'm reading this, for me, and I'm gonna release it to the public, I just pray that, and my prayer has always been that as you are viewing me, that you're also able to see yourself. And sometimes we have all of these examples out there, but then we realize sometimes there isn't. Maybe there isn't a voice, or there isn't a style that authenticates or reverberates like who you are in the earth. And one thing that I've just vowed to myself is to be to be that. One, first, obedience to God. Two, to myself, to release the things that, as I reflect back on the young girl that was growing up that had all of these bright ideas, and I've shared some of these things within the Unbecoming series. I'm actually have become, and I'm becoming my own dream girl. And in my strive and stride daily to consistently and perpetually become, I fall in love with myself every single day. And I say that with the hope that other people embrace that about themselves as well. And I'm not afraid to be seen. And there's like, let me just read. This is the point of why I wrote everything down, because I have so many thoughts and so many ideas. I'm growing at the same time of healing and being stretched and being pruned and being plucked and being crushed and being broken wide open. I talk a lot about the alabaster box, and it's because I've really given it to God. This morning I was actually, I guess I can start with that. What kind of catapulted this like whole diary moment where I was like, okay, I guess I got to share this with the community, was the dream that I had this morning. And without going into depth, because dreams are more personal, like for you and your depth and your understanding and visual insight, for God to show you where you are. But I know that I've been in a season of just walking through some heavy, heavy, heavy things where I've been having to like reparent myself in certain regards and really validate and authenticate my own voice. And, as I talked about in the Unbecoming series of like the great return and returning back to places and spaces where I said, I didn't feel safe, still don't feel safe mentally or emotionally or psychologically. And to know that there have been certain things that have populated in that return in certain spaces and places, and recognizing a new version of me has showed up, and I'm not responding or reacting in the ways that I used to, and I'm allowing the healthy, the healed, and the whole individual, that version of me to be present. And I'm learning to embrace that's actually who I fought to become, right? And as I'm saying this, I'm processing my thoughts a lot. Like, am I really saying all this? Well, yeah, I am. And I'm pondering back and kind of stumbling, and I'm definitely going to get into what's written. But I'm really thinking about like who I was just 6 years ago. Um, this young woman in her mid 30s, early 30s, actually. And honestly, just trying to figure it out, wanting to heal, but didn't know how, wanting to forgive, but just had resentment and was stubborn in a lot of ways, and trying to understand who God was for me and to me and about me. And I see so many different contextualities, and of myself and variations. And you ever just have to sit back and just tell yourself, you know what, I am so proud of me, and in the most humble way possible. And hopefully some of that is making sense. I don't really know. Maybe I'll edit that out. Maybe I don't know. But I think the thing is, with the platform with Social Hour with Ash, God is thrusting me. He is forcing me like into this space where I'm so comfortable, but I'm also like, why do we need to do this right now? Right. But within that, I've learned, and I'm learning, that obedience is always better than sacrifice. And there's been so many people that I can point to, on this journey, who decided to crack open their notebook and decided to write, and then decided to, I'm going to post that there, that to where I felt seen in so many different ways. And either while I was in therapy or reading my Bible or talking with a friend, or, laying out on my prayer my mat, crying out to God, just saying, I want to be better, but I don't know how. And here's the reality. Sometimes we just need someone to model like what that actually looked like for them, or what it was for them. And so hopefully I'm making sense for someone, that one or two viewer who may see this. I know that it resonates, because like I said, I read the comments, I get the text messages for those that know me. I read the DMs and the people that decide to like or to comment. And I know the views are there. So I know that the message is getting out. And I'm humbled by that. I'm really humbled by that. But I'm just gonna read this and we're gonna see what happens. Literally deep sigh. I don't even know if I have all of my words yet, but I know I need to share this because when you're growing and when you're being stretched, when God is reshaping you, things genuinely, as we know, they start to shift. They start to come into form, they start to come into being, they start to settle into place, and you're like, oh, like this actually feels comfortable. If you actually notice my posture, like a pretty chill, meek person. I don't say zen, but I'm very I'm very relaxed in the state of like where God is shaping me and forming me. But distractions start to lose their pull and old behaviors start to fall off and old desires start to honestly change. That's the truth of evolving and becoming. And a lot of people call it or would like to call that isolation. But the truth is, I'm going to tell you what it is, it's formation. You're being formed, it's reshaping and it's reforming. You're not who you used to be, but you're also still becoming who God is forming you to be. And that space is called the in between. I want to say that was like episode 5 of Unbecoming. That space is called the in between. It's called that in between place. It can feel honestly very uncomfortable. Very, my favorite word. I have a few friends inside joke where we say it's a little unsettling. It's a little unsettling because you're trying to understand who you are today. I've been trying to understand and going back through the happenstances of my life. I remember when I re-entered school back in 2022, and one of the first homework assignments was to go back through your lifespan. And they said, create your chart of happenstances. And let's just say I almost like lost it because to me, it was like me pointing out all the things that didn't go right. And just here recently, I was organizing my resume and I actually like put Shaw Social Hour with Ash on my resume because I am a storyteller. You know, I am a founder, I am a CEO, I am producing, and I'm actually producing for other people right now for their projects. And the reality is, I'm trying to understand who I am today, but I don't get to understand, you don't get to understand who you are today without understanding who you were yesterday. And maybe that's a homework assignment for someone. Go back through to inception of your longest memory that you can recall and create your happenstances of life. Whether you want to do it for every year or if you want to do it in 5-year increments, or if you only want to, some people only want to focus on the good while some people only want to focus on the negative. I say do both. Give yourself the ability to see how far you've actually come in your stride and in your strive. And remember, I told you, my friend, one of my girlfriends coming into 2025, we're playing this game and my greatest fear came upon me and the question was asked, what is your greatest accomplishment? And I was like, oh my God, why would you ask me this? Like, let everybody else in the room answer it. And I remember saying, like, I don't know what my greatest accomplishment is. I feel like everything that I've ever tried has kind of failed or it stopped and start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And she looked at me square in my eye and she said, Ashley, what if your greatest accomplishment is your willingness to keep trying? And that was the thing that set me free. And now that's been over a year ago. And I realized I was willing to just keep getting back up one more time, putting one foot in front of the other. I don't know who that's for, but you can feel uncomfortable, but it's because you're trying to understand who you are today through the lens of who you were yesterday while walking away from who you used to be. Too many times I was so married. Maybe you were married to past versions of yourself, and embracing in totality, like who God has called you, who He is calling you into being and forming you. Remember, it's a reshaping, it's a reforming. God is reorienting us. We're in our Nehemiah, we're in our building season. And realizing you've given God a yes, but the answers don't all appear at once. And as realized, I skipped over the dream that I had this morning. And it was quite interesting because I'm working through a lot of forgiveness. I realize I have the ability to forgive. While I forgive, I also recognize access is not always readily granted back to people. And I met with my uncle last night and we had a beautiful dinner. we're just chit chatting. And he just flat out told me, he was like, niece, if you don't forgive, you're not making it into heaven. And I was like, no, I totally have the ability to forgive, uncle. Like, I just think people are struggling with my ability to grant them access. And like, if you know my personality, you know me, like, it's like iron sharpening iron sometimes. Like, I'm always have to come back for something. But in this dream, it was so interesting that I had that conversation with him at dinner last night, only for me to be woken up at like 2 o'clock this morning from this dream. And my father has taught me that anytime that you have a vehicle to show up in your dream, it's referring to your ministry. And in this dream, I'm driving to go get my car serviced. And there's someone in my life that is of great significance. And they were telling me in this dream, like, go ahead and just do what you need to do. And I'm like, no, based upon where I'm at financially, like, I think I'm gonna stick with what I have. And I remember getting in the dream, getting to the first stop, and they were like, no, you have to go here. And this is where I was having like this, like my dream self was having like this conversation. It was like I just knew things. And this person who I so love and adore is in this dream. And I'm like, yeah, we're just not gonna do that right now. Only for the technician to tell me you have to hurry up and get over to X, Y, and Z, only for me to get in the dream to get to this destination. And right before I got out of the car, I saw the sign where on the paper it was written and it said going to need major service. I was like, so I get out of the car, I pass in the papers, and they run some paperwork and they come back and they tell me like, we're sorry, we just have to take your car from you. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And then it hit me. I was like, God, is it because I didn't listen and I didn't heed to what the person that I adore and appreciate so much? Is it because I didn't listen to them? Did I not heed? And as I began to really like process and really begin to think about like what this dream meant and why I'm sharing this, I don't know. It's coming up, so I'm gonna let it come out. But I realized when I began to process it and began to do some research, it was talking about my ability to actually trust myself to be fathered and understanding that I have accepted God as my father, but there are places and spaces where healing is still taking place, where forgiveness needs to still be in motion and in formation. And understanding that I don't want my ministry, this platform, myself, or anyone else, someone like you, to be prohibited from breaking through and breaking out, because in our mind, we think that we have it all figured out. And as I was writing this out, I was just like in deep, like reflection mode, where I was at work and I was like typing out. If you looked at my floor, like I typed everything out and I came home and I was like, I need to journal this out because I needed to ensure that it was resonating with my mind, my heart, my spirit, and my soul first before I decided to hit record. And it says, because I've given God a yes, but the answers don't all appear at once. Think about the dream that I have. And I'm like, God, I've been growing, I've been sowing, I've been obedient, I've been stewarding things well. But I was like, where is that disconnect coming? Like, why would it said needs major service? Like, where in, like, God, examine me, tell me, show me, we're in relationship. And so it says, I said to myself, the other thing, and I'm learning that, and I'm learning so many things in real time. One of the prayers that have been in my heart, it's simple, but it's weighted. And the prayer says, God, I want to be willing and able. I want to always be in your will and never in your way. And if I ever get in your way, place me right back in your will, because when I'm in your will, I know that you'll always make a way. And I know that you guys probably heard me say that during the Unbecoming series, but it's genuinely a prayer that I pull on. Like it's like putting on, lotion every single day. And here's the thing, the truth is everyone is able. I need you to know that you really are able. The question is, are you willing? And that's where I've been sitting with myself. Ashley, are you really willing to bare your soul in these moments and to hit record, to edit, and then to post? And it opens up potentially for insight, for direction, for clarity, maybe potentially scrutiny. Or maybe it's an eye-opening moment and it's an encouragement for someone else to see something modeled of what it's supposed to look like. I pray this is making sense, but the reality is everyone is able, because willingness comes with a cost. Or did I say that right? The truth is, everyone is able. The question is, are you willing? Because willingness actually comes with the cost. There is a price to the call. There's a price to the anointing. There's a price to being shaped, crushed, molded, and formed. And I'm realizing that I don't even recognize parts of myself anymore. And that's not, I'm going to tell you, if that's you right now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I'm thinking about, the rebirth that I went through in October of 2024 when I decided to chop off all of my hair. And if you know me, my hair was down like Rapunzel let down her hair. And when I did that, it birthed something new within me, but it also, I went through a whole new identity. And now we see, like, I'm obsessed with her. I don't have a name for her, but I'm obsessed with like seeing this like radical transformation. And I like to look for growth in measured ways. And the way that I can see my internal growth is one of the exterior things, if we could point to, would be physically my hair, right? But old things, the truth is, I'm realizing that I don't even recognize me. And that's why, here's the reason why. It's because old things are genuinely really being passed away. That's in Isaiah. Behold, God is doing a new thing. And God is doing something new. And the new is exactly that. It's just new. I'm being reintroduced to myself daily, and I'm learning how to articulate that without sounding rehearsed, without performing, without pretending. I have it all figured out because I simply don't. I don't. I'm walking through it as I speak it, and I'm living it, and I'm experiencing it all at the same time. And something else I'm becoming honest about, I'm finally comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, I'm a naturally confident person. And I'm someone who literally lives in my head. Like I said, Mariana Trench, deep thinker. I'm very emotionally intelligent. I'm very aware socially, emotionally, economically, spiritually, all those things. Like, I'm one of those, I pay attention to like the smallest details. But becoming comfortable with my own voice, with my cadence, with my own sound, and how I even articulate. I've been told that I'm gifted with the anointing of articulation, which I find intriguing. But everything I've ever talked about on this platform, it's because I was becoming it. I am it, and I still am. This platform has always been a display of who I was, who I am, and who God is forming me to become. And in this process, I'm realizing something else. I'm not a reservoir. I couldn't even read my own handwriting. I'm not a reservoir. I'm meant to release. I'm multidimensional. And I've been trying to see everything from the beginning to the end. That's like the control freak in me. I talked about this. I've talked about myself so much publicly. It's so funny. But instead of accepting the journey I'm on like right now. And yes, I have human thoughts too. It's, is this going to reach people? Is this going to grow? Is this going to matter? At what point do people catch on? Those thoughts cross my mind. Honestly and truly, they do. But the place that gives me the most peace, it's knowing that when I release it, it comes from the depths of my soul. I'm validating my spirit. I'm honoring my mind. I'm honoring my heart, and I'm honoring my voice. And at the same time, my human experience, I'm honoring God. The human side of me is wondering, what is the purpose of all of this? What is God doing in me through this, in this way? And the only answer I keep coming back to is obedience. I am stewarding obedience, faithfulness, consistency. I am being trusted, or rather entrusted with downloads and insights from the very heartbeat and the mouth of God. What God does with it after that, it's on Him. It really is. But what I do understand is this: purpose, destiny, calling, they all start with where you are. And where I am is learning to trust myself. learning to validate my own voice, learning to allow myself to be seen while I'm still becoming. That's the bridge that I'm standing on, which is called self trust, obedience, formation in real time. Not speaking from performance. No, not speaking from perfection. You guys know I've butchered through this whole entire thing today. But speaking from the actual walk that I'm on right now, because I know I'm not the only one here in this place. As we are navigating, as we are sorting through, as we're trying to honestly figure it out, that we're allowing ourselves to be led by that internal voice, which is truly the Holy Spirit. Somebody else is in that in between place as well. And here's the thing, you're not who you were, not fully yet who you're supposed to be becoming yet, but you're being shaped and you're being stretched and you're being formed as well. And maybe today isn't about having all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Trust me, if I had all the answers, I would have all the answers. And maybe today isn't about having them. Maybe it's about trusting the formation and trusting the process and trusting, honestly, God the Father. And being willing to walk it out, one in obedience and one step at a time. So if you've been witnessing me, watching me, whatever you've been doing with these moments, I want you all to know, what is Shaw? And I went back through my page and I was looking back at quotes that I had posted during the Unbecoming series. And it's so funny the way that I recall things. I'm like an audible, like visual, I'm audible and visual learner. I hear things back in my own voice or in other people's voice. And I heard it back in my own voice. And I had to get this quote, my own quote, where I stated, I'm both student and teacher of my own becoming, and I trust God enough to speak mid-process. Welcome to the classroom. So what is Shaw? She speaks as a place where God meets real life through honest conversations, testimony, and truth wherever he opens the door, wherever he opens it. Wherever, whether it be a they speak, meaning the community coming forward, whether it be a she speak, moments like these, or she speaks, or God gives me insight or foresight and it's a prophetic declaration moment and there's scriptures that are attached to that, or it's my own life lived testimony and God is incorporating that and navigating and putting it all together to flow, and I seal it up, I button it, I edit it, and I release it. I'm learning to use this space as a sounding board, not as a stage. I model what it looks like to follow God honestly. And trust me, it's not perfect, but faithfully in every season of my life. 2020 till now, that is 6 years of obedience. And yes, there has been some pauses, some pivots, the way that I used to flow, the way that things were going. I look at it and I'm in awe of like how God has used me and the people that I've had the opportunity to meet and to, from what they say, impact and help and to connect with and to interview. Like, it's beautiful. And so my friend is right. My greatest accomplishment has been, your greatest accomplishment has been your willingness to keep trying. So I'm at an intersection, or I'm sorry, let me say this first. This is not just a healing page. It's not just ministry. It's not just motivation. I am at the intersection of personal testimony, spiritual formation, and everyday obedience. Everyday obedience. And let me forecast what she speaks, what Social Hour with Ash, the platform, and things that God has shown me, things that people with their obedience are willing to sow into me, because they are sowing into me what God has entrusted with them to share. But these are my personal words. These are things that I've written down for over 6 years. And before I really went live with the public platform, the little girl in me, there are so many visions that God has shown me of my future self, and I realize I have become her and I'm becoming her. But Social Hour with Ash is evolving into a platform where real stories real struggles, and real faith meet in public spaces, not just online, but in rooms, in cities, in conversations that help people see God in their actual lives. Not hype, not performance. Presence plus truth equals testimony. And the notebook that I write it in is The Greatest Story Ever Told. And I was at a conference one year, and John Maxwell was the speaker. And he's one of my favorite authors. I have a few favorite authors, but he's one of them. He wrote this at the front. He said, "Dear friend, the greatest story ever told can only be written by you. I want you to fill these blank pages with intentional acts of kindness that add value to people. Every day, let your words be a record of how you are making a positive difference in the lives of others. Start now and intentionally make a great story with your life." Your friend, John Maxwell. Now, I do, because I got permission from Matt Gottesman to share these quotes because it resonated so deeply within me. Let me find it. Of course, when you're looking for it, you can't find it. No, here it is. So he said, "You are anointed. What did you expect the path to be like? What did you expect? The oil on your life doesn't come cheap. It's pressed from seasons that break you open. Every breaking was God making sure you could carry what you're called to. You'll be misunderstood, set apart, and called to things that don't make sense until much later. There's a weight that comes with doing everything you are here to do, to be shaped, refined, and prepared so you can carry everything that comes with your life. When God anoints your path, God will also protect your pace. Even if you don't understand it, especially if you don't understand it, you'll outgrow versions of yourself you once prayed to be. You'll learn that favor and fire often show up at the same time. You'll realize that the refining is never rejection, just God's grace to help you. But when the time comes, God will release you, and everything that once felt heavy will become answered and holy." Isn't that so incredibly powerful? And not just powerful, it's empowering. And I just had to share that. I couldn't get it out of my heart, out of my mind. And so I had to dialogue it. I had to type it all out. And after I typed it, I still didn't feel the release. I was putting things on threads and I'm like, okay, I'm releasing. And I'm like, no, I have to, maybe this is what prayer is, another form of prayer, standing. This is another form of standing in the gap. There's someone, if it's just one that's out there that needed this transparent moment. And if you're not sure of what the journey looks like, I would just encourage you to get into your prayer closet. Seek, fast, and ask. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide you, to lead you. It was spoken over my life as it pertains to this platform, probably back in 2021 or 2022. Her name is Jocelyn James. And what she spoke over this platform was incredible. But the part that I'm going to share that makes sense in this moment where God was reminding me, she said, "Ashley, you walk in a heavy deliverance ministry." She said, "But you can't speak about deliverance in the manner that you do without being in shambles at one point." And I've been very transparent to talk about my struggles with certain things at different phases and spaces of my life. And that is why I will always advocate for mental and emotional health, for proper boundaries being in place, so that suicide is not the thing that takes someone out, so that someone does not have to grapple with the pains of the misunderstandings or the rejections or the insecurities that comes with those rejections. Like I said, this platform healing won't be the only thing that we talk about, but this is for what I can only talk about where I've lived and where God has delivered me from, where he's healing and where he's revealing, because I vowed to God that I would be the best friend. I would be the cousin, I would be the sister, I would be the whatever that I wish that I had when I was going through the things that I was going through, and I didn't have someone to stand in the gap for me. And if I did, God didn't entrust it to be stabilized. And not saying he didn't trust it, he didn't allow it to be stabilized for that season of life. And here's the other thing, and I speak about this often, not allowing ourselves to worship our wounds. And so while I've been told and now I accept that, yes, I walk in a heavy deliverance ministry, I'm still embracing what that means in totality. So being comfortable in the uncomfortable of the, okay, God, this is what you want or need me to say, because there's a soul, there's a life out there that needs this. And here's the thing that we always know about God: God always leaves the 99 for the one. And if you are that one right now, I pray that this message, this moment, this dialogue, diary moment resonates and it meets you and it reaches you right where you are. And I'm excited for the journey because I see and God shows me so much. And all I know is that I'm not worried about what it looks like in the end. I'm going to steward where I am right now in this very moment. And I have to say, it feels better releasing it than holding on to it. And just be prepared for this journey. And I am so thankful and grateful for those who are on this journey with me, for those who are subscribed, for those who are contemplating. Just come on over, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and share. And share this with someone that you know can identify, you know their journey, you know where they are in life, and let's go on the journey together. Let's genuinely build this community of overcomers. God reminded me, he was like, you got to go back to addressing them as who they are. So, hey, overcomers, come on over, come and sit with us, and let's heal, let's grow, let's thrive, let's become everything so we can write those books, so we can write the business plans, so we can be the architects, we can be the authors, we can be the business strategists, we can be anything and everything that God predestined us to be. And you don't have to hide behind the shame or the woes of life and thinking that that's who you have to be. No. Because who the Son has set free is truly free indeed. And my friend, my brother, my sister, my overcomer, you're truly free indeed. So I believe that's everything that God put on my heart for this moment. Until next time, I love you. Take care.